Hello everybody, my name is William. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and today we're going to be doing another FSEconomy flight in our Cessna 208 Grand Caravan. We're here at Bella Coola. We'll be departing, flying on to Anaheim Lake. Short flight, kind of flying through some valleys around some mountains. Looks like we're going to have some clouds to maybe dodge as well. A really cool area to fly. Anyways, I hope you all do enjoy. If you do, make sure to give the video a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more content. As always, it really does help me out, and I appreciate it. Let's jump into the flight. Welcome on board the Cessna 208, everybody. We're here on the ramp at Bella Coola. Actually, before we get going, I just kind of want to take a look around. At least for me, this is kind of the first time I've been to this airport before, and it is completely snow-covered now. Pretty cool. It'll make it a little bit interesting to navigate out of here, so I feel like I'm completely blind to where the taxiways are, but nevertheless, we are sitting here in our plane. We're going to go ahead and pull up the client before we get going and get our flight started. And we're just going to be carrying 9 passengers all the way to Anaheim Lake. I keep wanting to say Anaheim. It's this former Californian in me, I guess. Anyways, we are carrying 9 passengers out there, planning to depart out of Bella Coola runway 23, and then arriving runway 31, and going to be flying the valley on the way there because we got some terrain to kind of navigate. But I'm going to go through, get the aircraft started up, and we'll be back ready to go whenever we're about ready to taxi for our departure. Alright, we've got our aircraft started up. I did move my position on the ramp a little bit, so we're a little bit closer to this hangar. Kind of zooming in, we can see actually where the ramp is. It's a little bit easier than looking out here, but we can kind of see, I think that's where the helipad was, and then off over there, there's runway 23. Wind on the ground here looks like it's pretty calm, so we could take off more on course, but want to take off, kind of fly the valley and have to stay in between the valley all of the way there. We have peaks all the way along the our route basically, and you can see we're going to fly the valley through here and then up kind of this little cut, make our way up over the top on the way to our destination. And around here, these are out of this valley here, around where my cursor is. This is about 3,000, 4,000 feet, with peaks along the tops through the valley. We'll be flying a little bit higher, up around 6,000. So we will be in it at 5,500. We're going to try and stay beneath the clouds as well. So we'll see how we manage that and exactly what we have to do on the way there. Nevertheless, we are about ready to taxi here. So we've got our flight started in FSEconomy. We already got on top of that. We're good. Beacon light on, taxi light on. We'll go nav light on. Just go ahead and get our flaps down into the takeoff position. I already have a heading set for 230 since that's going to be our departure heading, or our runway heading. And I think we are about ready to go. We'll go ahead and just arm the heading mode as well, just in case we need to click it on quickly. So we'll taxi on over to 23 for our departure. Gonna look to rotate out today at about 65 knots. We'll see how that works for us. Once we get up to about 80 with a positive rate, we'll go ahead and get our flaps in, and that'll get rid of a lot of drag on the aircraft, and from there we should be able to continue accelerating for our climb out around 100 knots on the way up. You can see the valley on the way up there. It looks like it's clear, no clouds or anything, so we should be able to kind of circle back and head on course. It looks a little bit cloudier off to our right, and that's where we're going to be heading. So let's just double check. We'll get strobe lights on, landing lights on, transponder on, altitude. Alright, and it looked clear to me, so just double check. We got flaps down, everything else looks good. We'll go ahead and take the runway here. It is difficult to kind of make out the markings, but I just see the 2-3, so confirmed we're on the right runway here. That's pretty neat, I'm not gonna lie, but let's make it a little bit more challenging. Alright, so we'll get the power creeping up, and we'll release the brakes. Power is set, airspeed's alive. Just 50 knots. 60. 65. Go ahead and rotate. A little bit gusty, it seems like. Alright, we have a positive rate. Continuing to accelerate. Let's hold 80 there. Get up to about 200 feet, and let's pull these flaps in. Really pitch for about 10 degrees. Aircraft's going to want to sink. Alright, now let's pitch the nose down just a little bit, pick up some airspeed. Okay, it looks like we can kind of cut to the right just a little bit, and then we'll do a left 180 basically to go back through the valley. We got a nice little open area here for us to turn in. And we're just going to continue climbing, not too worried about anything else. We're just going to fly the plane kind of while we're in this valley and make sure we've got enough room to turn around. In a somewhat safe-ish manner here. So we're going to continue flying towards this ridgeline. As we gain a little bit more altitude, we will start getting ready to make our turn. Alright, let's go ahead and roll it. We should have plenty of room to make this turn here. And just continuing the climb. This will take us, it looks like, right back over the airport. Makes it really hard to spot down there, too. All covered in snow. Because that's the field right there. That's interesting. Okay, I'm not too picky about the altitude that we're going to cruise at. 5,500 does make sense because we need to clear that terrain at the end of this valley. So we're going to go ahead and just continue to climb. But really, we just don't want to get up into those clouds, so we may just hold here at about 3,500 for the moment. If we have to circle and climb later on down the valley or anything like that, that's completely fine. But still just hand flying. Pulled the power back just a little bit. Absolutely gorgeous scenery here. Now, I think we'll level it at 3,500 for the moment. So we kind of overshot a little bit, but we'll go ahead and go altitude capture and then just bring it down to 3,500. We'll pull that power back just a little bit more. It's not a very far flight, as we're kind of crossing back over Bella Coola at the moment. We're showing about 47 nautical miles It'll be a little bit further because we're not flying the straight path in, which we definitely could. We could climb up above and fly over these mountains on the way. We have the performance to be able to make it happen. We just have to kind of 360 circle, kind of like in an open area like this where we've got a hole in the clouds, or you know, kind of maybe cheating using our synthetic vision or something like that to make sure we were clearing them as we continue to climb. But it is a little bit more fun, in my opinion, to kind of go this route and keep it in a valley. You got beautiful mountains off to your left and right. Nice snow-covered mountains as well. While we got a little bit of a straight line here, I'm going to go ahead and hit the autopilot. We're going to let it do its thing. It thinks that we're captured on... it thought we were still captured on 3700, so just kind of making sure it comes back down to 35. We're going to bring the heading to the right just a little bit. We'll see if we can get a couple nice shots from the outside here. Really pretty stuff outside. Really enjoying the trees and all the snow. Does look nice. It's completely different than the last time I flew here, in this area anyways. Really enjoying it. We're going to go ahead and take over manual control because we need to kind of make a course adjustment, continue following the valley. So it did get quite a bit cloudier around us here, but we're gonna stay in the valley, continue following the river. So our plan is to follow it, and then we've got this fork. We can kind of keep right or make the turn off to the left. We're gonna make the turn off to the left, and you can see it doesn't exactly take us there, but there's a little bit of lower terrain right in this area along the cursor, and we'll kind of jump out of the little bit of valley there and proceed on to our destination. And that kind of gives a better look at it. So we'll fly in through this and then down through here. It's just a little bit kind of in between these two terrain features, a little bit of lower terrain that we can make our way through. And that is our plan anyways. Alright, so up in front of us we can see the fork. That's just really cool. A little bit of problems with the terrain down here, it looks like. But nevertheless, we've got the option to go right or go left. We will be going left on our way. And the peaks around us, kind of like I said before, we're looking at some of these up here pushing around the 5,500, 6,000 foot mark, so we can kind of assume that's where the clouds are at. It does look a little bit thicker, like I said, as we continue kind of off to the east here, as long as it's not kind kind of blocking our way through the valley. If we kind of have to hop over it through this area, I'm okay with it because the terrain is a lot more, it's very uniform, kind of. Once we get closer to our destination, it's not going to be quite so mountainous. It just kind of rises up, so not a bad situation at the moment anyways. And we can see all the way down that valley, so that's good. It really narrows up. It's going to narrow up in this one as we make our left turn here as well. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I imagine standing up here on the edge of one of these cliffs or something and looking back down that valley that we just flew up through. Or even better, up on kind of one of these peaks, just looking all the way through it. It'd be so beautiful. And imagine it'd probably take so much work to get up into a position like that as well. I'm way too out of shape to be thinking about doing something like that. Alright, we're making our turn. You can kind of see the cloud base. We could climb over these if we wanted to. We're just going to continue to turn in, though. Follow the valley. 3500 is working for us at the moment. This reminds me a little bit of the first flight I actually did in Flight Sim. Well, the first flight I recorded anyways. The first flight I did in Flight Sim was around my home, like I think a lot of people did. Just going to double check the altimeter setting. Still on tree 0, tree 4. There's no weather station or anything like that for us to pick up from either our departure point or destination. Just showing about 25 nautical miles now. You can see how much tighter this valley is. But the clouds look like they're working with us, at least. So now it's just kind of about trying to spot our exit point. And I think it's going to be up here. We'll kind of make a left out through there, but we'll see. One of these, the avionics, glass avionics and everything make this so much easier than you could have ever imagined without them. I still manage to lose situational awareness at times. It's insane, but alright, so this is the first one. First exit to the left, which isn't the one we want. We want the third one, which should be a little bit larger, and I think that one's coming up. So we will continue on. If we need to, we can climb up to about, honestly, 5,500 would be more than safe. It should be anyways. I don't think that's actually the exit that we want. Just kind of zoom in, see if we can give ourselves a little bit of a better idea. Yeah, so first one's right there off to the left, so we're just going to cut in around this little bit of terrain. see if we can shoot over the top of it. Kind of shortcut this a little bit. If we need to bail for any reason, it looks like we'll be fine. We're gonna have to climb though. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and put some more power back in, and we'll get on the climb. It's the smart thing to do anyways. We're kind of flying around super low just for the sake of doing it. I think we'll just go up to about 4,500. And really, I think that's the terrain we just need to make sure we stay away from. We just had no problems with that, and it looks like it is clearing up off to the northeast as well. So we should be just fine going into the field. I think I'm going to go ahead and set this for 4,500. And we will get all of that set there. Put on a heading mode, put it dead on the top of this blue needle, which is about 0.55. And let's see if we can kind of enjoy the scenery just one more time here. Okie doke, we might have gotten a little bit too carried away, kind of enjoying looking around outside, but we are flying over a couple beautiful lakes here. Pull the power back since we are really close to the field, just about 7 nautical miles. We are going to make our approach in for runway tree 1, I believe. So let's try and set this on 310. Alright, so we're about perpendicular to the runway at the moment. And we could enter right downwind, or we could turn right for a left base to final, basically. Getting a little turned around. Anyways, that could be our plan. Field elevation is about 3,600 feet, somewhere around there. So we're at about 1,000 feet above, just under actually. And we can see it is not super snowy out here, so we should hopefully be able to spot the field pretty easily, comparative to Bella Coola, which just kind of looked like a barren white patch on the ground there. And that's probably the airport right there. Just cruising right in over the top of these trees. Nice little streams and lakes around in the area. But you can see this terrain, sure, it's a little bit higher, but it is very uniform, nice and flat, so don't need to be too worried about it, thankfully. We just kind of left all of our lights on for the entire trip here. So we should be set on that one. As always, in the Caravan, we know the approach flaps can go out at 150. The landing flaps can go out at 125, and we're going to shoot for around 80, 75 knots on the approach, somewhere in that region. There is the field. We're actually going to go ahead and start our right turn. Tis a little bit late, but we'll just kind of angle out to the right just a little bit. Give ourselves some more space. So we'll overshoot the back end of that needle by about 15 degrees or so. And we're going to go ahead and pull the power. You can see just a little bit of the field there kind of disappearing through the window. Let's get back on the instruments. We're going to go ahead and go, our approach flaps are out. Make sure the aircraft doesn't balloon up. And about 2.5 miles I'm going to go ahead and turn in. We're probably going to just continue the turn all the way to final, and we may have to realign ourselves a little bit. But that's okay. Just continue the turn. 30 degrees, we're below 125, so I can go full landing flaps just about whenever I want. I think that's the airfield right in front of us, so we could have done a little bit of a base, but I should have looked a little bit sooner. We'll just kind of continue in a little bit of a shallow turn. Base to final.
500.
Not much of a base, but nevertheless, we're turning on final now. And we will go full flaps. Like I said, about 80, 75 knots, somewhere in that region. Alright, we are on final runway tree 1. Let's pull the power out just a little bit more. Let's get that airspeed down. Really light wind. It's just about 3 knots. We could have landed any runway we wanted to, really. It's a decent sized runway, so don't need to force it down or anything too crazy. Holding right about 78 knots, just a little bit fast for what I wanted to plan. So we'll go ahead and pull this power back early. We're committed now. There we go. The nose wheel down a little bit gently. And nice and easy on the brakes. We're going to go all the way to the end here anyways, so we don't need to slam on them or anything like that. Yeah, we got a nice little ramp off here to the right. And that's where we're going to park up and log our flight. That definitely was a really fun one for me. I hope you guys did enjoy as well. Beautiful scenery. I love flying through the valleys and stuff like that. Alright, let's hold here and let's get the aircraft cleaned up. So flaps all the way up. Transponder back onto standby. We'll go ahead and get our landing lights off. Strobe lights off. Nav light off as well. We can kill the pitot heat. And we're going to taxi on over to our parking, which we're just going to park it next to this 172, it looks like, right here. That'll work for us. All right, so let's go ahead and pull the client back up. It's a nice short flight for us today. I just have to hit the parking brake. And it'll take a second, and then the flight will kind of disappear there. Flight is logged in FSEconomy, and it was a really fun flight to do as well. So I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, I appreciate having you guys along for these. If you do like this stuff, make sure to give the video a like. If you don't, give it a dislike. but it does help me out a ton, and I really do appreciate it. As always, subscribe if you want to see more content. And until next time, bye bye.